People who appear to have it all, the money, the vacations, the flashy cars, why do they still seem unhappy if money buys happiness? And I think I'm a good person to speak on this topic because I went from, living in a family that didn't have a lot of money, there was a lot of financial scarcity in my life growing up, to being $40,000 in debt when I came out of school, being really stuck with money, having $0, living paycheck to paycheck, to bringing myself to someone who was a millionaire at 30 years old. I want to start off by saying that to an extent, money can buy happiness because money buys you safety, money buys you freedom, money buys you security, and those things can definitely make you happier. But how much happiness we derive out of spending money diminishes as time goes on. I want you to think back and remember your first apartment, or when you bought your first car, when you finally felt those first levels of some sort of independence. Was that the same happiness and fulfillment that you got out of buying your second car, upgrading your apartment? Generally, no. And this is because of the theory of diminishing returns. Think of it like this. If you get one car, you're like, great, now I can get to work, I can get around, I can go see my friends. You get 2 cars and you're like, cool, now I have a fun weekend car. You get 100 cars and now those cars actually just become stressful because where do you put them all? How do you maintain them all? How do you pay for them all? And it just becomes like a second job. I also think another reason why people who achieve financial independence or who get more money don't actually end up being any happier is because they lose their perspective and they forget gratitude. My first apartment was riddled with bedbugs, there were shootings outside my window, and now I live in a gorgeous acreage home. And I can't tell you how quickly these upgrades became the new norm. And it's something I actually have to remind myself daily, like where I came from, where I started out from, to bring me back that sense of gratitude for the things that I have now. Because once you get all the things and those become your new norm, you forget what your old problems were like and you start having new problems like, where do I park my 5th car? I don't have a garage big enough for that. I think this is because we're programmed to be stressed about things in our lives. Society wants you to be stressed. Society doesn't want you to be happy with where you are because it's not good for production. It's not good for consumerism. It wants you to constantly have something to be stressed about, so you constantly have something to fix, so you constantly have something more to buy. Contentedness is actually not good for our economy. And lastly, I think people spend so much time focusing on making money, thinking that that's going to solve everything for them, that they forget to also work on themselves. Having more money didn't change the fact that I struggle with anxiety and depression and my childhood trauma, but it did give me the freedom and resources to work on those things. Getting more money isn't going to make you happier unless you understand what you're doing it for. What does this money bring to your life? What is your why?